Today, we're going to unravel an absolutely epic story. A story about power, about family, and about legacy. And the crazy part? It's all hidden inside just a few simple lines of text. We're looking at the House of Alfred, and I promise, by the end of this, you'll see exactly how a dynasty gets built, step by powerful step.
So let's start with a big question. How do you build something that actually outlasts you? A family, a kingdom, a real legacy. It's a question every great leader has to ask. And the answer, as it turns out, is hidden in a surprisingly simple place. And here it is. Believe it or not, this simple timeline. This is our entire source. I know, it just looks like a couple of names and dates from the 9th century, right? But I'm telling you, hidden in these lines is the actual blueprint for building a dynasty. So let's decode it together. Okay, Act 1. It all starts with the single most critical step for any ruler. You've got to lay the foundation. And back in a medieval kingdom, that foundation is really built on one thing, and one thing only: heirs. So around the year 870, our story officially kicks off. King Alfred the Great has his first child, a daughter, and her name is Ethelflad. Now, this is a great start for sure, but for a 9th century king, well, the pressure was definitely on to have a son to secure that direct line of succession. And then, just 4 years later, it happens. A son, Edward, is born. And with that single birth, the future of Alfred's kingdom suddenly becomes so much more stable. Boom! The first, and maybe the most important, piece of the legacy puzzle is now firmly in place. But think about it. A single heir is a fragile thing, Sickness, a war, anything could happen. To truly build a legacy that lasts, it has to reach the next generation. And that brings us to Act 2, securing the line. So let's fast forward about 20 years. In 894, Alfred's grandson, Athelstan, is born. Now this is a huge moment. Why? Because it proves the whole system works. It's no longer just about one son, it's a lineage. The dynasty is now putting down roots into a third generation. The future is looking seriously solid. But of course, the legacy of every great founder eventually faces its ultimate test. The plan is set, the heirs are all in place, but what happens when the architect of the whole thing is, well, no longer there to guide it? In the year 899, Alfred the Great died. This is it. This is the moment of truth for absolutely everything he built. Is it all going to crumble, or is that foundation he laid going to hold? And that brings us to our fourth and final act, which, you'll see, isn't really an ending at all, but a new beginning. This is where we find out if that foundation was strong enough for the legacy to actually endure. And here's our answer. The plan worked. It actually worked. Alfred died, and his son Edward became the new king of Wessex. The transfer of power was seamless, the foundation held strong, the lineage continued, and the legacy was secured exactly as he designed it. So when we look back at our simple little timeline, we see it wasn't just a list of dates at all, was it? It was a 4-act play about the careful, methodical construction of a dynasty. The succession was secure. But, this leaves us with one final, really interesting thought. What story would the new king, Edward, write for himself? What happens when the heir has to become the founder of their own chapter? Well, that's a story for another time.